Cool.
Hi, Monty.
Hello,
Hey,
sir.
how's it going, guys? How are you?
Good.
I'm doing well. Good to meet you. I haven't met you before, have I?
I don't think so, no.
Good to meet you, Manny.
You too. I think we're probably connected on LinkedIn. And yeah, I think I know about you from Isabel. Well done on pronouncing my name well the first time around.
Money.
Congratulations. Yeah, that's the one. People normally get that so wrong.
I mean, because Manny is Manny, right?
Possibly, but a lot of people don't seem to think so.
Well, I think it's because I knew a Money, so I knew. So it's not new to me.
Just got practice.
That's exactly it.
Hi, Bruce.
Hey, Bruce.
Hello. It's a beautiful day here in Toronto. You're probably wondering.
Wow, Toronto.
It's about 23 degrees Celsius, and in American, that's about 75. Beautiful.
Oh, that's perfect.
Key lime yogurt bar. I think it's actually kefir. It's a key lime kefir. Is that healthy, Adam? I don't know. Kefir?
Yeah. Let's probiotics.
It's a type of yogurt.
Not too sweet.
Yeah, not too sweet is good.
Have you had key lime pie?
I don't think I have.
Oh my God, I had it down in Florida where it comes from, right? Something special. Like it's got that tartness of the limes and then the sweetness with the crust. Oh my God. I'm a sucker for pies.
I've heard about these Florida key lime pies. The fruit is local, right?
Yeah, the key lime.
Yeah.
It's a kind of lime, but I think you could probably get, are you in England?
I am indeed.
Yeah, you could probably get key lime there. I mean, everything's flown in now. I mean, you guys fired the Azores. You were getting all your citrus from the Azores, and then you fired them as soon as Florida started coming in, and South Africa.
I just didn't like the way they did business, so I had to fire them.
Azores, yeah. Well,
they need to buck up their ideas next time around.
They didn't listen, did they, the Azores? And then they lose the contract with the UK for all the citrus. I was in the Azores a few years ago, and it's so beautiful. But enough about me. How are you? I haven't met you before. I don't see your name here. What's your? Oh, Mani. Okay, hi, Mani. Mani I. Oh, sorry, you're eating. Adam, I know very well. Isabel, I've met before. Where did I meet you, Isabel?
Have we met?
Oh, maybe you haven't. Which lake? What's that lake behind you?
This is actually a river. This is I think the Columbia River between Washington and Oregon. So I took this picture from the Oregon side, and it was just so beautiful.
Where do you live, Washington or Oregon?
I live in San Diego. So I should actually probably have a San Diego background, but I just really like this one. It's so serene.
Oh, it's beautiful. Yeah.
Let me see if I can switch.
I spent a lot of time in the Canadian Rockies. Beautiful. Just like that. Beautiful. Oh, look at that. San Diego. There you go.
I don't know why I'm not having more fun with my background. There are a lot of fun things I could put in my background, but I just haven't been playing around with it.
You've got to be brave, Adam. You got to be brave. Some people have the wind blowing in the palms. It's very distracting. They have like a movie going behind them, right? Yeah.
Hey, Mavis. Hi, Garrett.
Hello. Hi, everyone.
Hello.
So I was just kind of waiting for Mavis because she's kind of our facilitator for the month.
Cool.
And Garrett's here. Garrett Schwartz.
What's going on, Garrett?
Hey, Garrett.
Hello.
It's been a little while since we talked. How's life for you?
It's good. It's a little different, but still busy as ever and enjoying that.
Cool.
Yeah.
Different and busy. That sounds fun. That sounds like how life's supposed to be when you're growing.
Yeah, hopefully. How you doing? growing the hair out a bit.
A little bit. I'm gonna get it cut fairly soon, but for now, enjoying the approaching caveman look.
The height. It's all about the height.
So
There you go.
if I sleep on it the right way, it goes like straight up, and I just
Yeah.
look like
Yeah.
like it's like Dash from The Incredibles.
Very weird.
It's very weird.
I of course have hair envy, right? So every time I see Adam, I have hair envy. I want to have hair. And it's something I'm seeing a therapist about, right? We've talked about that, Adam. So I'm getting over it now.
That's good.
Maybe I can talk to him about my lack of facial hair, because I think
yeah.
Rock, what you got?
And
like
just,
a couple weeks here.
well,
It's like a couple weeks.
keeps you looking young. You know, for someone who's 40, you look maybe 23.
So my niece is actually feeling a little sick and can't really talk too much. So I'm gonna facilitate this meeting. I'll probably kick it off because an hour flies by super fast.
Mm.
So if anyone joins late, that's okay. So maybe I'll just start off with, what is Next San Diego, this, this logo that you're seeing in this group that's hosting this, and what we're talking about today with Adam. And then also maybe give an opportunity for everyone to introduce themselves, kind of know each other. It's kind of the point of these coffees. So first off, what is Next San Diego? You are our first group to see these slides that one of our committee members, Jessa, made. I'm not going to go through the whole thing. Don't worry about it. I just want to show you, because maybe visual is a little easier, but Polaris is like our strategy. So I'm not going to go into the details, but Next San Diego, why do we exist? To connect people for the common good. That's kind of how we boiled it down. We have some core values, which basically, diversity, inclusiveness of everyone, and all voices, and non-judgmental sharing, being open and mindful of our impacts that all of our actions have on not only the environment, the community, but the economy, being of service to others, educating other people. We are a web-based community platform. I think on our website it says that we are a community of regenerative entrepreneurs with the purpose of connecting people for the common good, focus on supporting the San Diego bioregion and beyond. So we have a focus around San Diego, but as you'll see today, like Monty's in the UK and Bruce is in Toronto, we have members from all across the country and the world because they're not finding this in their local communities. So yeah, and just ultimately our vision is to become the go-to for resources around regenerative business in local communities. And if you want to know more about what the heck does regenerative mean, we have a whole article on it on our website, because it's the #1 question that comes up following that.
Isabel,
yeah.
Could I ask everybody mute? Because we're getting a lot of feedback as I'm trying to listen to you. So if everybody could mute. Thank you.
Thanks, Bruce. So yeah, so maybe before we give it away to Adam, just really quickly, everyone, if you could just do a really quick introduction of your name, kind of what brought you to today's meeting, and maybe like where you're calling from, and then we'll give it off to Adam. So I'll start first. I'm Isabel. I'm just gonna meet you real quick, Mavis, if that's okay. So I'm Isabel, I'm in San Diego, and I kind of started Next San Diego, but I'm here today to support Adam. He and I have been in touch for a while, so it's just cool to see, him do what he does. And maybe I'll pass it off to Money.
Hey everyone, let me just put the screen up. Hi, I'm Marnie from London. I'm a business designer in training, so I'm evolving from a UX designer, and I've got a focus on sustainable practices and sustainability. Yeah, this was intriguing, so right.
Thanks, Money. Bruce?
Hello, my name is Bruce Harrod, and I am a creative coach. I've been coaching for 16 years out of Toronto. Before that, I was a professional writer working in a niche within the corporate world writing musical theater comedy. My background is in theater and film, a lot of comedy, including stand-up. And sometimes I'm funny. I'm here today because of Adam. I am a client of Adam's, and I think he has a wonderful endeavor that he's following. He's purpose-driven and values-driven, and I wanted to support him today and also hear what he has to say. Thank you.
That's awesome. Thanks for joining us, Bruce. Garrett?
Hey there, I'm Garrett, and I'm calling from Arizona, Phoenix. And I think Adam and I connected on design interests and circular economy and solving kind of design and social problems around circular economy. So yeah, excited to see how the conversation develops.
Thanks, Garrett. I'm just going to go next people on my screen. Crystal, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, can you hear me all right? Yes, I was in the wrong place. I was just in LinkedIn, like going, this is the least chattiest chat I've ever, but apparently, apparently I wasn't logged in. So there's that. Hi, I'm in Phoenix. I'm a local entrepreneur and startup business coach. And I typically work in digital media and have projects working with equity in media, trying to have different voices represented to increase capacity with BIPOC, LGBTQ and whatnot folks that are in the digital media side of the world. And what else? To help have authenticity in storytelling, as well as to help create more intergenerational wealth. And I'm soon joining the not-for-profit board for Women's Audio Mission. It's called WAM. It's about equity in sound engineering. Apparently only 5% of the folks that create sounds for movies and media are women. Which is crazy, right? But anyway, so that's in California, and I've been drafted to be a part of that. Interestingly, I'm joining the board very soon, but interestingly, they just were one of the numerous organizations that got money from, is it Mackenzie Scott Bezos's ex-wife, basically, in her big gift last week announcement. So they got $1 million, which is excellent. So those are the types of things that I do, usually to do with somehow media and bringing more voices to the table. Nice to meet everyone. Oh, and I love Adam.
Yeah, good to see you, Crystal.
Hey, dude.
Thanks for joining us, Crystal.
Thank you so much.
And Michael, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, hi, my name is Michael. I'm also here to support Adam. We met a while back. Both of us are ASU students. I just graduated this year, but also connected around just equity in education. Have a startup called Peer Squared, working with high schools to build peer tutoring programs so their students can have accessible academic resources at any time.
Great name, Peer Squared.
Cool. And I'm going to introduce Mavis for herself because I know she's not feeling well, but she's still on the call and she wants the support. So Mavis Carolina Herrera, she runs this amazing business called Mavis by Herrera, where she makes upcycled high fashion handbags from plastic that was otherwise destined for landfill. And it's handmade by indigenous artisans in Oaxaca and Michoacan, Mexico. Love them. I'll place the link in the chat. And she's also one of the committee members for Next San Diego and is facilitating for the month of June, these coffee meets. So I think that ends our introductions. If you want to give it away to Adam now.
What's up, everybody? So good to be here. Thanks for coming. So I'm just going to go ahead and present here. Great to meet, pretty much see everybody. Mani is the only person, and Mavis, I think, are the only people I'm meeting. So good to meet you all. Everyone else, great to see you. So today I'm going to be talking about, can everyone share my screen? Just okay, see heads nodding. So we're going to be talking about this, what's on the screen, creating a resilient, impact-driven business model. This is what I do. Just to introduce myself real quick, I've been designing brands and business models with a bunch of social innovators for around 5 years now with my company. You can connect on LinkedIn if you want to. But yeah, this is really what I do. I make music as well under the alias A Freezy, but this is my main thing, diving into business models. So I'm excited to share what I've learned with you all today. So number one, the best business models start with a huge purpose. It doesn't really matter your current scope. Having a huge purpose is the best way to continue expanding your business model, because a lot of companies start with, we make X for Y. And then that limits them to making X for Y. And if they want to do more than that, it takes a large strategic pivot. So starting with a huge purpose allows you the room to create many different types of business models to serve that purpose and to be flexible with the revenue streams. So here's some examples of huge purposes and great organizations. So Nike wants to bring inspiration and innovation to every athlete in the world. I didn't put this in here, but Next San Diego wants to connect people for the common good. That's a huge purpose, right? Google wants to organize the world's information and make it universally accessible and useful. Tesla wants to accelerate the world's transition to sustainable energy, and we.org wants to inspire and enable people to do good through their everyday choices. So this isn't like, if you look at purpose statements, these are not prescriptive in terms of we are selling this to this and this is how we do it. It's not supposed to be, but having a purpose statement to ground you strategically allows you to play around with changing your customer or changing your value proposition or creating a new revenue stream without doing it randomly. And so you can do it in a way that is aligned with a larger goal. So this is just kind of a way to illustrate it, your brand and big purpose, the identity of your company, and then you have a few revenue streams or business models under that. So you can actually take this at two different scales. You can think about your personal brand and the different businesses you have as a person, right? Like I, Adam, have emote.design, Humanity by Design, and whatever other design company I'm going to start later. And like you can have like if you're like Bruce, you could have Bruce's coaching, and then you could have Bruce's musical academy or like theater academy, and then you could have Bruce's self-awareness institute, right? So so you can, right, when you have this big purpose, it allows you to just kind of pop things off that align with it. That's in the context of you as a person. In the context of you as a business, this is an example, right? We.org is their purpose is to inspire and enable people to do good through their everyday choices. So they have two different organizations currently that is serving that larger purpose. One is the Me to We business, which actually started after the charity, but I put that first because I like businesses. They sell products essentially. Kind of similar, it sounds like, to what Mavis is doing, but just with a variety of products. They sell products from artisans in developing countries. They connect them to markets essentially, and they take some of the revenue. So it is a for-profit business, but then they give 50% of their profits to we.org charity. And they operate solely through donations, sponsorships, and they build villages, schools, and create these well-being curriculums for people completely for free. Again, that's a lot of donations and sponsorships that's work, but it's also helped very much by the fact that they have a connected business that is supporting that purpose. So, and I forgot to say this at the beginning, but if you have any ideas or questions or anything that you want to shout out, just go for it. We'll have time for questions at the end, but I like being in flow. So if something is in flow and you like feel the need, go ahead and shout it out. So that is an example of how under a larger purpose, you break down multiple, this is organizations, but it could be revenue streams. So I wanted to put this here. I'm not doing an in-depth deep dive into what a business model looks like. That's not really the purpose of this. But I wanted to give you all a sense of how I think about the business model and impact-driven business model specifically. So basically, I'll just break down each square. First is the purpose. What's the purpose of the organization, or what is the purpose of this offering or value proposition specifically? what problems do we want to solve? Why are we here? That's what the purpose is. The value proposition, what are we offering people? What types, so value proposition, what are we offering people? What actual benefits are we bringing to people and or society? Customer relationships, how are you relating with customers? Is it scaled? Is it one-to-one? How are you connecting with the people that you are serving? Channels, how are you facilitating those relationships? Through what channels are you facilitating those relationships? We got some things in the chat. Yep, this is the impact version that I created. I was just like, oh, let's add a few squares and make it impact focused. So what channels are you interacting with customers through? This could be social media, this could be one-on-one conversations. How are you connecting? And then you have the funder segments. And I said, instead of customer, I should have said funder relationships and instead of customer relationships, but let's just forget the word customer and just say relationships on that square. It's just relationships. And then you have your funders, which are the people that are giving you money. This could be donations. This could be buying your product. This could be, however people can give you money. There are a lot of different ways. And then there are the beneficiaries, which I like to specify on an impact business model canvas, because it's like, who are we helping? What group of people are we helping through selling this product? And sometimes the funder and the beneficiaries are going to be the same. Sometimes they're going to be different. But it's good to know that this person's funding it and this person is benefiting from it. Usually the funders are going to be having some sort of benefit, like feeling good about themselves. But that's not, a core thing that you create for people. It's just kind of a tangential benefit. So that is like the right side. And then we go down to revenue streams. What are your revenue streams? Where do you get money? So funders are connected to revenue streams. Funders provide revenue streams. And then you have eco-social benefits, which is like the societal version of revenue streams. So revenue, you measure money. Eco-social benefits, you think about your impact metrics and how to measure those. So like, just gonna throw a couple out there because impact metrics can be difficult for people. For say, Crystal, an impact metric could be how represented do minorities feel in the current media ecosystem? Like that kind of feeling that people have, that could be a metric that they're looking to increase over time, or Crystal is looking to increase over time through her many organizations. So that is kind of the right side of the business model canvas, which is just a tool to break down your business model. So that is the side of your business model that is like outward facing, that is public facing. It's your purpose, it's your value, it's how you're getting money, and then it's how you relate to the outside world, and especially the people that are giving you money and the people that you are creating a positive impact on. And if you go through this, you can download that at this link right here. So that's the right side. The left side is how you create that value. So key activities is like, what are you doing to create the value proposition? What are you doing to fulfill your purpose? Key resources is, what are the things that you're leveraging to fulfill your value proposition? So a key activity could be, I'm just going to do my business here. A key activity could be help social entrepreneurs with their brand and business model strategy. A key resource would be my brain, which is not the most resilient structure for a business model, because I can't really, copy and paste that right now. So that is how you produce value. Key partners, what organizations help me create this value proposition. Key partners are, can play a big part in having a resilient business model. If you have really good relationships and a few different key partners to create these key resources or to do these key activities, then if one of those key partners goes out, you have more to pull from and more to work with. And then you have the cost structure, which is what are the costs, basically, what are the monetary financial costs of supporting the key partners' activities and resources. And then you have eco-social costs, which are like, what bad things are we doing in society, or what bad things could we be doing in society through our business model, and how do we mitigate those. So that's just an introduction to the business model canvas as a larger tool. It's great. It makes you think about all of the different parts of your business model. So just wanted to kind of go over that to help people understand how I think about business models. So to summarize that last kind of section, the most resilient organizations consist of multiple business models all aligned with one purpose. So really, if you think resilient, the biggest key to resilience is having more than one revenue stream, which means you have more than one business model, because each revenue stream can be separated into its own business model. And then obviously you can have like a collection of kind of interconnected business models. So having more than one is like the easiest and simplest way to ensure that your organization is resilient. So to generate ideas to make your current or new business models more resilient, these are some key questions to ask and answer and ideate around. So 1, what can we offer that is unique and different? How do we serve the gaps? So having multiple revenue streams is great. Another thing that's up there in terms of if I want to be resilient to changing forces externally and internally in the market, how can we differentiate? How do we be better? Essentially, how do we serve people in a way that they're not being served currently? If you're trying to do something that someone is already doing, then you are inherently less resilient, right? Because people don't need you. It's really that simple. But if people need you because you're the only one that is serving a specific need, if people or like a government needs you to fulfill a certain social need, that is a really good way to make yourself kind of like entrench yourself with a specific group of customers and become really resilient, because even if things change in their lives, they still need you to fulfill a certain need. So that's question number 1. What can we offer that is unique and different? How do we serve the gaps? It's kind of 2 questions, but I think of it as one. The second is, what other offerings could we create to better serve our customers at different stages at their journey? So a lot of times when you are serving somebody, for example, Isabel is serving entrepreneurs. Right now, she's kind of serving a certain spot in the entrepreneurial journey, right? Which is connecting community and all of that. So one question that she could ask is like, hey, how do we better serve entrepreneurs, especially regenerative entrepreneurs, within the space and within the purpose of Next San Diego? So that's question number 2 is, hey, what is the larger journey of the people that we are currently transacting with, and how do we fulfill their needs at different steps in that journey? So for me, it's like some people are trying to figure out their business model and their core value proposition. That's one step of their journey. I want to be able to help them there. And I also want to be able to help them once they have a business model and they're ready to scale it. So for me, it makes complete sense to say, okay, I'll help you with your business model. That's done. Oh, now you need to brand and market yourself. Let's do that too. And it makes it easier for them, because now they don't have to go hire somebody else and renegotiate, and they can just stay with someone they trust. And it deepens the relationship, and it also increases the lifetime value for me as a business. And then if you think about this in terms of communities, like if you're doing something for students, if you're doing something for them educationally, could you be doing something for them on a health perspective, because that plays in to how they go through their educational journey. So again, just kind of expansively saying, what other things could we do at different stages of the people who we're currently selling to?
I might
I have a
interrupt real
question.
quick. I think
ahead.
Crystal had her hand raised.
Oh, I could raise my hand in the little hand that shows, but I just raised it for real. Adam, would you be willing to share these slides with us after the presentation, or should we take notes?
That was 100% my intention, is to share the slides. So
Great. I don't have to take notes. I'll just listen to your enthusiastic presentation.
yes, enjoy.
This recording will also be uploaded to YouTube afterwards.
Thank you.
Adam, I did have a question.
What's up, Crystal?
So I was wondering on your best methods for ascertaining answers to this. Do you often go with gut, or do you ask clients and your stakeholders directly?
Mhm.
What's like the new hotness for trying to figure out
Mm.
the best ways? Sometimes I know there's, a tension between what people say versus what their actual behaviors are and what they really expect in real life. And so I'm wondering what you found. If it won't take you off, you can table this if it's.
No, this is a fantastic question. I appreciate you bringing this up. So your question basically is, how do you prioritize your, like, any new ideas that you come up with in answering these questions? How do you prioritize and execute on them, or how do you test them?
No, sorry, prior to that, how do you best glean the answers to that? So figuring out the gap and figuring out the offerings that might best suit the customer. Are you going from observations on the outside of what you think is happening, or do you actually query and ask the stakeholders?
Yeah. So, okay. So for the first question, how do we serve the gaps? There are kind of two ways to do that. Competition is like looking for other companies that do a certain thing is a really effective way to do this, because if there's a company, then there's not as much of a gap. Or if there's a really established, well endowed company that is doing the thing you might want to do and solving the problem you might want to solve, then it's a good sign there's no gap. If you can't find something, then it's like, I can't find something. Like, there's this Google internet thing and I can't find a solution to this problem. There's obviously a gap. So with the gaps, like, competitive research is like finding other companies who are trying to solve the same problem, essentially, is really, really the best way. Another thing you can do is, whoever's having the certain problem, whoever's struggling with the problem, talk to them. What is not there, what problems are they having, and then, after talking to them, you could search for solutions to the problems that they talked about and do your competitive research that way. So, and in terms of other offerings, that is definitely more of a gut intuition creative thing. I think one good, I guess, tool to use is what journey are they on, right? So put it into context. What is their journey? Where are they right now? Where do they want to be, right? Where are they right now? Where do they want to be in a specific context? And where am I serving them, right? I'm serving them here with this problem. Ask them about the rest of their journey. What are the different steps of the journey? What issues do they have at each step? This is journey mapping, what I'm talking through right now. So if you want to search up what this is, it's called journey mapping. Basically, like, where they want to be, what steps do they move through, what problems do they have at each step, and then that's where you can start to say, what offerings could we create to serve at each step, given the problems that they have and given where they want to go. So I'll keep, hopefully, did that answer your question?
Yes, I really was. There are a lot of folks who are a bit prescriptive with their audiences. They maybe do a little bit too much observation. And so I was kind of hoping, and you kind of touched upon it a little bit, that you would have a bit of a design thinking approach. Just really make sure that you include the stakeholder in the solution solving. So, because they might know better than you.
Right. And that's kind of like, I like people testing things before it's kind of built. And that means that you're co-creating with the people that you're serving. So yes, definitely, always. So, well, there we go. Next question. Who are all the stakeholders that we're providing value to with our products and services? Whose jobs are we making easier? So this is basically saying, okay, we're currently serving these people, or here's who we're thinking about as our target market. It's kind of taking a step back and saying, with our activities, with the things we're creating, who else are we providing value to? Whose job description is being fulfilled by the activities we're doing? And could we approach them saying, hey, we're doing this, we could do it, you know, specifically for you, and then it would cost this much. So like stepping back and saying, who is everybody in the ecosystem of this problem that I'm tackling? What are their interests, and am I acting in their best interests? If so, I might be able to make them a customer. I might be able to create a revenue stream from that particular set of stakeholders. So for me, that might look like stepping back and saying, investors, and I don't know how to execute on this. I've been trying for a little while, but investors, right? They have a best interest in seeing their entrepreneurs succeed. So theoretically, I could go to them and say, hey, you know, I create these services, it's going to de-risk your investment. You know, I change the value proposition, but I'm still doing the same stuff. I'm doing branded business model strategy, same stuff, different audience. They have more money too. So again, theoretically, it would work. I just haven't really attacked that with enough focus yet, to be honest. So stepping back, who are all the stakeholders that we're helping? Try to go like up a level. Who's responsible for the well-being of my customer, right? Who is interested in that?
If I could
And
interject real quick,
go
and
ahead.
to also add to build on what you were saying with the stakeholders, this is something that is taught in a lot of places, but also Tory Project, this concept of multi-stakeholder. And so taking the traditional definition of stakeholder being like, you know, from a business perspective of like my customers, my investors, my business partners, but expanding that into say also my employees, like, you know, they're investing not only like their time and their livelihood in building this company and not just getting a pay cut, but also like their energy, but also the environment, the community, you know, where are you getting your resources from and how is that impacting that community, and just kind of broadening the scope of stakeholder a little bit.
Yeah, no, that's a great point. And it also like I'm kind of speaking to specifically revenue streams when I say this, but you should also be thinking about how your value is created. And if you aren't thinking about the stakeholders on the partner end, then then it's going to be, you know, you might find out, oh, this partner's leaving and now I'm not able to create this value, right? So if you're talking about resilient business models, that's spot on. You have to think about how's the value being created, who is benefiting from it, whose best interest is it for them to benefit from it, and then look at all of the other opportunities to say, how can we make all of their jobs easier? That includes employees. So that's a great addition. Thank you, Isabel. And then kind of as a follow-up question, what opportunities to engage people as customers might we be missing? So, you know, are you providing someone a service, but doing it for free, even though they could pay for it? And if they did pay for it, it would lead to them being more committed. Like what, basically saying since we just asked this question, whose jobs are we making easier? Okay, could we engage them as a customer? And how might we do that? How might we just repackage or remessage what we're offering to that specific person? And then another thing in terms of revenue streams, how do we make offerings recurring in a way that makes sense and adds value over a longer period of time? I personally recently did this by kind of throwing out most, if not all, custom like time-bound proposals and just saying, here are the objectives. Here's how many hours I'm going to need to reach those objectives within your timeline per month. Let's just start a monthly relationship. And I'm finding that flows way, way better in both ways. Both I benefit from it and also my customers benefit from it because they're able to use me in a more flexible way. So asking this question, if you're selling a one-time product, a one-time service, how do we make it recurring in a way that creates a long-term relationship and adds value over a longer period of time? So these are any questions about the questions. These are the main, these are major questions to be asking to think about resilient revenue streams and business models.
I do want to poke at that last question because I know we have Jessa's in here, and she actually has a product that's something that you buy one time. So I'm just kind of curious how that might apply for her.
Yeah, so one really cool example of this is a light bulb company stopped selling light bulbs and light fixtures and started selling light as a service. So if you think about the job you're doing for your customer, so by selling a shirt or a necklace, what job am I fulfilling for someone? And how could I do that? How could I change the model to say, hey, we're going to help you feel fresh all the time? That's kind of what Dollar Shave Club did, right? Oh, what job is shaving getting done for you instead of buying razors and having to go back to the store? Okay, we want your face to be fresh all the time. One area that I think is like super, like there's so much opportunity is like women's health, like the menstrual cycle, like that happens every month, but no business models are structured around that. And it's really frustrating for a lot of women. So it's like taking these one-time purchases and saying, how do we create a relationship over a long period of time? Does that kind of answer your question, those examples?
Well, and I'm going to play devil's advocate here because I like to push people to, really try to improve. So I'm not trying to throw you under the bus by any means, Adam.
Throw me under all the buses.
But first of all, I will say tampons and sanitary pads and all that are already, you have to buy them every month. And so we're actually shifting the market to be more towards like things that you just buy once, like a Diva cup. And it's more reusable. And part of the reason is, one, it's a pain in the butt, and two, it's better for the environment. And so I just want to ask, why should we be asking how to make a one-time item or purchase recurring? Or like, why should we be thinking about it in that way? Or maybe another question is, and it's not a fully formed thought, but should there be some sort of service model? Like that's what you're getting at, but like, should there be? I don't know.
It depends.
I had a thought on that too. Just in general, whether it's a one-time purchase, like if you think of like a mattress or like a car, let's say, you're still overall trying to come up with a relationship instead of being transactional. So the newer mattress companies are selling a lot of things other than the mattress: convenience, easy setup, low price, like a lot of things. But I think when they're talking about, maybe their brand is prioritizing sleep and rest as opposed to just selling the mattress, I'm thinking. And so I think I'm taking this as relational marketing as opposed to transactional. Like, we want you to do one thing as opposed to we want you to buy into the essence or the ethos of what we're doing. I guess that's how I think of it, because you could sell them a number of other things. Like if you sell mattresses, you might then be into, I don't even know, healthy back stuff, or seating, or the next brand might be, you might go into style and different bedspreads and things of that nature. So I think about brand extensions that happen afterwards, and that might be why you take more time to get to know your customer, to really make sure they buy into your mission, such that you have a better relationship with them overall and understand them holistically, so that maybe it was a one-time sell thing, but as you build your brand, it might end up being that you meet a lot more of their needs, is what I'm thinking.
Yeah, I wanted to add, I think Isabel, had mentioned I have a product and it's really designed to be a one-time purchase. And it's a shirt sauna. I'll plug shirtsauna.com. It's a multi-garment clothing steamer. And very early on, I'm still early, but I met with the VC just to talk, just be like, hey, and they're like, well, how do you generate recurring revenue? I'm like, I don't. I just want you to buy this. Thank you. And they're like, well, this is not fundable because that's what businesses want to see. And so it's hard because it's like the resiliency and the sustainability, you need the financial aspect. But to Isabel's point, like, I don't want to generate more stuff. And I think, this is like the product versus services The industries are very different. And so now I'm thinking, well, I can put dryer sheets in it. So I'm like, oh, do I get people to sell dryer sheets? And then, but at the same time, I'm like, you don't need that. And what you're talking about, Crystal, is exactly what I've been learning a lot about and trying to work on. It's building community and building people who like are so passionate about your brand and what you do that they're going to tell everybody.
That's
and
it.
so
Word of mouth. I was just going to say, even though you want like fanatics like Tesla, right? Where they're not
Exactly.
advertising, but their word of mouth is crazy. I agree.
Exactly. And I was just thinking as you're talking, I'm like, I did mattress shopping. Gosh, it's probably been 2 years now, but it was a very emotional experience. And I did all this research. I was like, okay, I want something eco-friendly, not all these chemicals. And then I was like, well, this is too expensive. I'm just going to get this, whatever. And so I like got this, high end, but still very, how do I say this? The best mattress I could get for my budget, which was very cheap. I think I was like 500. Well, I should say, in terms of mattresses, it was like a $500 budget. I'm like, okay, this is the best quality I can get for this amount. And then I went to the mattress store and I laid on a Tempur-Pedic. And I was like, later, I never looked back. And they have a 10-year warranty. And so, I'm like, I tell anyone who knows me knows that's like my most prized possession. That's the only thing I care about is this mattress. But like, I'm a fanatic. And so I'm like, I pay a premium price and I'll continue to, and I refer it to everybody. And I'm like, that's what I want people to talk about with me. So I don't need to sell like, a million, like, whatever, $3,000 mattresses. I just need to sell like 100,000, 300 or $3,000 mattresses, whatever. But anyway.
But you're also kind of creating a category, kind of, right? It's not just a product, it's a category.
Disrupting. That's what I say.
So you'll be looking a lot at your return on engagement. You'll be doing a lot in social, like ads are not necessarily going to speak to people because maybe you haven't found your tribe yet. So I feel like, yeah.
Well, and there's the educational part where people don't know how to use it. So, but it being a new, like kind of a little sector within itself, like the ads, like they'll generate interest, but in my point of view too, I want to pay the users if people are going to buy it. Like I would rather pay you whatever, $20 or $30 to refer somebody than pay Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
But I still have to get people to see it to like pass on that, promotional or affiliate referral credit. But coming back to all this, it's like the same thing. It's like for business, like our whole, Laura, my consulting business partner, she always talks about, businesses, initially the purpose of business was to solve a problem. You started a business, you solved a problem, you kept solving that problem, or you solved it and you moved on to the next problem. And now it's not like that. Now it's like, well, how are you going to sustain? How do you keep doing that? And I don't want to do that, which might not make me a very good business person, TBD, but I don't want to sell more stuff. I just want to sell this one-time thing. I want some people to buy it and then, move on to the next thing.
But one day you'll have maybe a high end and a low end, right? Like you may not do different more, but you might decide that there's a version. There probably isn't, but
there's a travel version.
There's a right, travel or value or more green or more luxe. And you'll take that, to Adam's point, the customer journey, you'll take that entry-level person that got it as a gift for free, who can't live without it, who then gets a job, and then they're able to buy a different one. So it seems like that community, or that just making sure that there's added value for your brand, and that you're delighting customers. So customer experience and all that kind of stuff will be really important. And then you'll want them to still follow you and care and want to get a gift certificate, even though it's only for 12% of it. And someone's like, that's a horrible gift. I can't buy one with 12%, but they have a baby shower and you come up with a community, and now all of a sudden you're giving gift ideas, and 10 people can come together and they will have bought one because they each did 10. And so there's things like that, like crowdfunding for your thing. Like there's stuff like that maybe. And that if more people value the service, then more people will contribute to that, because people get crappy gift certificates all the time, right? So I can see the stuff working. Sorry to take you off, Adam, but this is kind of cool. I like having a real product to talk about.
Yeah. And I mean, to Jess's point, I don't necessarily think she's trying to make the most resilient business model of all time. She's trying to solve this product, or she's trying to solve this particular problem. So I don't even think that is this is super relevant to that specific business right now. And that's fine. You don't have to be like, this is like, how do I make my thing last for like 30 years? Like, if you're not thinking about that, like, cool, right? And then in terms of recurring, it's not about selling more stuff. It's about helping them solve their job to be done. Sleeping, mattresses. How do you help people sleep on top of a mattress, right? Not more stuff, but knowledge. Maybe diet stuff like a blog for just sleep, or sleep coaches. Like if Tempur-Pedic sleep coaches were a thing, and be like, I might hire them because they're associated with the brand. And that's one gap. I mean, I don't think I've covered it. Well, so Crystal did my presentation better than I did, and she tied the recurring offerings to the larger purpose, which is the community, which is the brand, which is the relationships that at the end of the day are going to make your business model extremely resilient. If you have a group of passionate people around this problem you're solving, and you're constantly in touch with them and exchanging energy with them, then you are going to withstand a lot of stuff that happens on the outside. And also about these questions, the goal isn't necessarily to go all in on each question, but they are things you can ask. Whichever one resonates the most, dig into that one, right? In terms of your business model specifically, whichever one you ask and you start to have this flood of ideas, dig into that one. But if something doesn't resonate, as the last one doesn't really resonate with Jessa and what she's doing, like just skip over it and come back to it. These aren't, go ahead.
I was just going to say, to Isabel's point, maybe it's really that the statement stays, but you put recurring in parens or something, because it can just be, how do we make our offerings in a way that makes sense and adds value? And for some people, it's going to be recurring, and other people, it's just going to be deeper value, maybe.
Yep. I mean, I'm going to go back and watch this. And
that's what I'm talking about.
Change the presentation.
Not exactly right.
I appreciate all of this. I'm learning a lot. V2 of this is going to be so much better. Anyways, so yeah, questions to ask. And then great resilient business and revenue models have offerings of different, I should have said revenue models. I keep making that mistake, but great revenue models have offerings of different depth. So again, this kind of ties into meeting the customer at different spaces along their journey. Having something free, having something cheap or one-off, having something moderately priced, and then having that higher level of engagement. A lot of times I see businesses have this higher priced recurring engagement, but they don't have anything on this end, or they have a lot of the cheap one-off stuff or free stuff, and they don't have anything on this end. So this is just a way to be able to model your revenue along with the customer journey. And then this is just like an example of my business. It's like intro call, strategy session, custom workshop, and then retainer. So it's just different ways I engage with people. So I'm not like, oh, I can help you, but I don't really know how, right? So I don't want that to happen. So this is an example with the work I do. So just thinking about what offerings do we have at different depths of the scale. A lot of times people are trying to make something super incredibly scalable, but they don't realize that they could provide a service with high margins to build that scalable thing, and they don't need to start by going and raising investor money. That's a common example I see. So a couple things people say is, I don't need a business model, I'm a nonprofit. And to this, I would say, okay, have fun asking for money all the time. So like nonprofits usually operate only on donations, and that can work. And it can also work if you have a really strong community that is willing to give again and again and again. But it's also very worthwhile to say, what revenue streams can we do that actually make a profit that can then fund the nonprofit activities, similar to the example I showed at the beginning of we.org, started as a charity, then spun off a business because they could give 50% of their profits back to the charity and be even more effective as a charity and not have to worry too much about corporate sponsors, and all of that. And another kind of thing that I get from people is the people I want to sell to can't pay for what I'm offering. Some questions to ask or directions to go from there is, whose job is it for your customer or beneficiary to succeed? Can you charge them? Is there someone another stakeholder that you can go to? And then you can also think about revenue sharing or incentive-based payments. So like if you're an artisan, you want to get on this marketplace, but you can't pay $250 a month to be on the marketplace, can you do a commission-based offering or something that aligns with where they're trying to go, and they only pay when they get where they are trying to go? So this is just kind of like, this is definitely like a slide to revisit afterwards, but I just wanted to like thought dump the qualities of resilient business models. And I'm sure that y'all can add to this with your amazing ideas. So resilient business models are focused around larger purposes and gather groups of interested people who are excited about that purpose. It's really about, what are you doing? Is it fun? Is it creating emotional momentum for people? And can you connect those people, connect with those people, and connect those people with each other? That's another quality that's probably not in here. If your customers are connected to each other, your business is going to be much more resilient, because there's that information sharing going on. You can co-create with your customers in a much more effective way. Resilient business models are unique and differentiated. They have layers of nested business models. So it's like more well thought out business models is better in terms of resilience of income. Sometimes if you can be really unique and really differentiated and have, I know there's the 7 layers of power, which I should have brought into this, and have moats of either brand, resources, distribution, then you don't necessarily need more business models, but having layers certainly can help. Really resilient business models really understand the customer jobs to be done and their problems around it. They have different streams of revenue. They might serve more than one customer segment. They reuse the resources and activities to serve multiple segments. They have points of engagement or revenue streams that are scalable. They have variety of levels of engagement, and it gives consistent opportunity to engage at different spaces. They're flexible, and they have community leaders and diverse perspectives throughout, I said in their leadership team, throughout their company and customer base. I want to highlight these last 2 because all of the top stuff is cool, but if you can't be flexible and iterate based on the people you're serving, you're not going to be resilient, period. That is like you have to be flexible to the changing times, and you could flex in terms of the specific value you provide or how you provide that value, how you serve, and community and diversity. When you have different backgrounds and different ways of seeing the world within your company, you create better ideas and you think outside the box, and that is how you stay flexible. So I really want to highlight these last 2. That's why they're bolded, but flexibility in constant communication with community leaders and diverse perspectives is like, that's the formula for resilience almost. That's the operating process. So tools to use: business model canvas mapping session. Map out your business model, ask some of those questions, right? So go here, map that out, and then ask all these questions, and then just, work with the ideas. What new revenue models have you thought of? What new ways of engaging stakeholders? What gaps do you have after asking those questions? And the value proposition design canvas is a really great tool for new revenue streams. And then books to read that has really helped me think about Resilient Business Models is Real Impact by Morgan Simon, Business Model Shifts, and 10 Types of Innovation. These are all really good books if you want to think about resilient business models and how they're constructed. Okay, so that's it. I think,
sorry to interrupt. Could we get those book titles again, please?
yeah. Can you still see my screen or?
Well, the slides will be shared and the recording will be posted to YouTube.
Cool. Yeah. So the book title is Real Impact, Business Model Shifts, and 10 Types of Innovation.
So I know, just wanted to recognize we have 3 minutes left. I'm happy to keep the room open if anyone wants to chat. Adam can leave if he wants to leave. But with the last couple of minutes, wanted to thank you, Adam, for doing this for the community and sharing and, you know, being open to me poking at your presentation. So thank you for your patience with that and correcting, you know, some of the misperceptions that I had. And I also wanted to share, you know, as kind of taking a page out of your book, creating more value for the community. And so if you can see my screen here, we have some upcoming events in San Diego. Welcome you to join us. These coffee meets are every Thursday. Normally it's just an open room for people to kind of sign in and see who's there and just kind of meet people. And every once in a while we have community members like Adam share what they do as a subject matter expert and also promote what they're doing. So I can't say it better than he can. So we now have our community calendar on here, so you can see the ones that say Next San Diego are hosted by us, and then there are other community events. For example, there's an unschooling, I think, meeting tomorrow. There's a Sister Cities Project tour going on Saturday. Mavis's company is having their second anniversary event. I haven't posted it yet, but there's also a sustainable vendor fair going on in North County on Sunday. So I'll post that. That's with Sustainability is Sexy. And then the next special coffee will be on July 8th. Again, that's always Thursday, same time, with Gilad Goren from BitGreen. So if you're interested in cryptocurrency and how to use that in a impactful circular economy way, you should come to that. It's so exciting. And even if you don't know anything about cryptocurrency, Gilad is prepared, so don't worry. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So you can check out our event page. Thanks for joining us. And I'm going to keep the room open. Let you guys connect if you want to. If you want to leave, that's cool too. So I'm going to stop the recording now. Thanks.
Thanks.